Plaza Hotel fire caused by the alleged relations between party planner Vicky Darrow and media tycoon Dickie Lifshitz. And for Hamptons party news, we go to Vanessa Hertz, who's live on the scene. Vanessa?
Lynette Cook, who killed it last week.
That's me, covering the Hamptons. I produced this behind-the-scenes web series, Exiled Southeast, that gave away too much information about what life is really like in the Hamptons. And now I am exiled in the Southeast. You guessed it, Palm Beach. Gloves are coming off. Well, I'm not really wearing gloves, as you can see. In Exiled Southeast, I captured the tone and the feeling of the Hamptons, like how some hostesses greet their guests until somebody better arrives. You know, their eyes look off in the distance while they're talking to you.
I'm so excited that everybody who is anybody is here. There's Billy Joel and his new bride. Mazel tov. Enjoy the guava mojitos. Billy!
Yeah, that kind of thing. That's really rude, but that's the way it's done. That's the way it's done for some people. Yeah, I'm an investigator. Today, I am talking with the people who really know the real deal behind the scenes. I am starting with one of the really prominent beauty salons in Palm Beach, Paula Breck. You can get a sense of the real tone and quality of the people in Palm Beach by going to one of these most popular beauty salons. It's not just bartenders, priests, and rabbis that know the real deal and the real secret of any location. It's the hairdressers and makeup artists that see all and hear all. Did you know the beauty practitioners abide by a code too? They didn't give away any names, but I did find out some of the unwritten rules of Palm Beach. So are there any trends or is there anything new in makeup for women my age or around my age?
Going completely natural, that no makeup look. That is definitely the trend right now.
Right.
You don't need a whole lot of makeup.
Right. Now what about false eyelashes? Are people doing that a lot these days, or is that over? It's big.
I think so, especially if they are going to a wedding or an event. Definitely to do the falsies to stand out, to make your eyes stand out in pictures and when you're getting photographed.
That's what, I did my Cancer Alliance dancing with the Stars event, and they want to put eyelashes on me, and I'm so scared that when I pull them off, I'm gonna pull off my own eyelashes. So I'm like scared to death.
With the right products, they will last.
Like the glue. But how long has Paula Breck been here?
So Paula Breck, our salon has been at this location for over 5 years. We have one in the city and another one in Philadelphia. He's been around for 30 plus years, so right when he was a baby.
Wow, so he knows all about different trends and styles and everything with everything.
Absolutely.
With hair.
He's the best.
I know, and I hear that he gives back to the community as well. We're not community as much as certain populations, like certain underserved populations, let's say.
Especially with cancer patients, he helps make the wigs for them, he consoles them. He also works with the LGBT community and Place of Hope. So a lot of foundations we work really closely with.
I know certain things about Paula Breck, but what is his philosophy?
Simple, sexy, and sophisticated.
Oh, 3 S's, right?
3 S's,
The 3 S's,
yes.
I like that. I like that a lot. But the pandemic must have been crazy.
With the pandemic, yes, everything basically stopped for quite some time. But we did a lot of like color kits for our clients.
Oh, that's interesting. And so that was like everything from eyes to foundation to lips?
Not so much with that. The color kits would be for the hair. That
Oh, I see what you're
makeup.
saying. Oh, right, to do the...
Just to
keep
keep people
up.
going during the pandemic.
Oh.
Pretty much makeup slowed down.
People
tremendously.
But it's interesting, but I heard a lot of people let their hair go and just grow out. But you're saying that did not necessarily happen here. You had kits. I love that idea. So what are some of the secrets of the clientele?
Oh, well, we never reveal any secrets of our clients.
Well, thank you so much for letting us come here today, making me beautiful.
Thank you.
But the next best place that hears the confessions are the conveyors of spirits and wines. Well, now I'm investigating wine, one of my favorite things. And here with me is John Wine. Yes, that's his name, at John Wine Tasting Room. Hi, John.
Hi, Vicky. How are you? Pleasure to meet you.
I'm excited.
Well, I'm glad you're here. We have one of our cool tastings, one of the basic tastings, obviously, for people that are getting their feet wet. So today we're going to talk a little bit about winemaking, and then we're going to taste 3 delicious wines.
Okay.
How does that sound?
Sounds good to me.
Right, perfect. Going back to the beginning, obviously, I tell everyone wine has been made for more than 7,000 years. The oldest place that we found right now is 9,000 years old. It's in Armenia. It was an underground cave that they actually found residues of wine in amphoras, which is clay pots they used to store wine before, where they didn't have bottles or barrels. But wine has been part of culture, part of business, part of, even the military. The Roman military encouraged their military to drink wine, for 2 purposes. Wine, so it was kind of like liquid courage to go to war. So they had a little bit of wine, not too much, they would be punished if they had too much. And then also for society, like I said. So wine has been involved with everything in humanity until this point, more than any other alcoholic drink. Also, it has a lot of health properties, so kind of like changes the tone when it comes to drinking alcohol. But
that's always been my excuse to drink.
I know, right?
Wow.
Isn't it?
Right.
I mean, if you're gonna have something, might as well be healthy for you, right? So yeah, absolutely. So pretty much you have 3 different things about winemaking there. The first one is when you pick grapes. Well, best wines are made in the vineyard. If you don't have really good grapes, it doesn't matter if you're a good winemaker. It doesn't matter if you're, anything. Like, you need to have good grapes. Okay. So it starts there. There's 2 ways that we pick. Some grapes are picked by machine, some grapes are picked by hand. I know I've done a couple of harvests, and it was crazy how much work goes into it. Like, I mean, if you have a hailstorm coming, if you have a regular storm coming, you have to pick right away. Rain comes down, the grapes will swell up, you lose flavor. I mean, there's so many things involved that when the grapes are ready, you have to pick at that point.
And I've seen this, and you put blankets on the plants, don't you, if it gets cold?
Yep. So some wineries have this new device that has pretty much like a laser that scans the grapes. So as they're going in, it'll pretty much stop. Think about a conveyor belt just moving, and it'll stop and be like, okay, that one right there. So then they pick it up. So obviously those cost a lot of money. So some of the smaller wineries are not going to have those. Right. But it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool device. Oh. Once you go in, then you have the most important part of winemaking, which is fermentation. Number one is obviously picking the good grapes, like I said before. You have to have good product. But then fermentation is what turns, grape juice or grapes into wine. So, being that...
I thought Jesus did that.
The what?
Yeah, I thought
Well,
Jesus...
we're getting, yes, you are correct.
I know it was water into wine. Okay.
You're 100% correct.
Right.
So now, before we go into the next step, let me give you a little bit of wine because I dislike when my guests are thirsty.
Or hydrate.
I know, you need to hydrate. After all, wine is 80% water.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
So why is it they say wine dehydrates you?
It's the one drink that
Red
dehydrates
wine.
you less than any other drink because it has more water. That's why.
Oh, so vodka would dehydrate you more.
And high alcohol too. In this glass, I know.
Do you switch white? How people always switch reds.
You pour wine and you see a lot of people going, swirling. You want to swirl that wine when it's just poured. You don't want to swirl that wine 20 times as you're having the wine. Okay. You see people doing that a lot. Yeah. They keep swirling and swirling. And it's like, well, no. It's like you only want to swirl it at the beginning because I just poured the wine for you. So you want oxygen to come in contact with all that wine. Think about a genie trapped in a bottle.
Interesting because, everyone thinks they know all about wine, but it looks like sexy and cool when they...
I mean, it is cool, yeah.
It's cool, but it doesn't do anything.
Just the first time. After that, once you get that oxygen inside, there's no need to keep moving it around.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it is a really good question. So please, taste it. I'm going to tell you about this wine. We're going to stop and talk about this wine for a second.
Nose thing?
Yes. So swirl it first.
It smells great. Very.
And then, so take a small sip. Make sure that it coats every part of your palate.
Refreshing.
It's very refreshing.
And
see,
it's not too much grapefruit in there, is there? Or like citrus, I should say.
There's a little bit of citrus, but not grapefruit. But yes, there is a little bit of citrus in there. Good.
Refreshing. So I just caught myself. It's a bad habit. I just went like this.
Because it's what we see. Yeah, you see other people doing it constantly at restaurants, and that it just makes you want to do it. It's not a bad thing. I'm just saying you're not getting anything out of it after the first time.
It's not worth it. Okay,
right.
That's cool.
And it just a little cheating part. If you have a wood table or a glass table, you can just do that.
But just in the beginning.
Yeah, but I'm saying instead, because this is actually, I can do this because, I've done a lot of times. But if you can't do that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
And then
but only in the beginning.
Only at the beginning. Only at the beginning.
Is there a right way or a wrong way to hold the glass? Like you hold it from the stem, or should you hold it from underneath?
Correct
or does
question.
it matter?
It does matter, actually. So the shape of the glass, obviously, it's there just not to be pretty. There's a reason for it. And the stem, it's there also for a reason. The stem is not going to transfer your body heat. So when you're drinking a wine and you're holding it right here, you're not actually transferring the heat from your hand and your body into the wine. You're not going to warm it up. If you do this, then you're going to warm up that one really fast.
I never really got that because now they're making stemless.
The stemless, correct. And a lot of people ask me that, and it's a really good question because whoever created the stemless glasses, they created them thinking about how they look, not the purpose of it.
Right.
So real wine glasses, real companies that make real wine glasses, they're making sure that the bowl is the right way. If it's for a different wine, it's going to be smaller, bigger, more open, and the stem, very, very important.
I really love this wine, love it, but I'm a real red wine drinker. So can we move on to reds?
Absolutely. I thought you never asked. We got some beautiful reds coming your way.
Now comes my favorite part.
Okay, so we're gonna start with something that a lot of people love in the U.S. Just a little bit more complex than the regular, but you might recognize the name. This is a Montepulciano de Abruzzo. So Montepulcianos are actually made by a grape called Montepulciano, which comes from the region of Abruzzo. Not to be confused with something called Vino Nobile de Montepulciano, which is from Tuscany.
Okay.
It's very confusing. But this
Vino
is
Nobile.
Vino Nobile is the one from Tuscany.
Right.
Montepulciano d'Abruzzo is the one from Abruzzo. The one that everyone tastes. It's refreshing. It's easy to drink. It's a wine that has been in the American market for a long time. This is a little more special because it's a reserva, so a reserve. So it's been aged a little bit longer. It's 2019, and I mean the winery is amazing. So please show me those tasting moves now that you just learned.
So just the beginning.
There you go. See, perfect. Now we're going to actually Napa Valley. Cabernet Sauvignon. So obviously we had to feature Napa Valley. I still believe that best cabs come from Napa and Washington at this point in the world. This is from Titus. It's a reserve. So it's a small batch selection that then they age separately, and then they blend the best barrels at the end. So the process to make this, it's very, very tedious and very time consuming, but also money. They make a couple thousand cases. That's about it.
Oh my
How dark
goodness!
it is. So
This is my choice.
I know. I can see it in your face. You're excited.
This is the dating game. This is my choice. Smells so good. Oh. Heaven on earth. So good. But this is, but it can really, it's more depth, I guess. Is that
Correct.
a good way to describe it?
Well, Cabernet Sauvignon is going to have more structure, thicker skin. It's going to have more flavor. The Montepulciano is beautiful, but very different wines, which is why I want you to see different takes on what wine can do. So Palm Beach is actually a very special place to me. Obviously, I was the wine director at Meat Market for 6.5 years. And I met a lot of people, and then obviously I brought those following me to this concept, so we still have a great relationship. But I feel like it's an exciting place. It's like a world of its own. The wines that Palm Beach drinks the most, obviously, I can tell you, because it's either French or California. That's where they start. 80% red.
Really?
Oh yeah. I try to push the white as much as possible because white wines are pretty. People don't give them a chance. But if it's not champagne, it'll be a Chardonnay or a Sauvignon Blanc, and that's pretty much where it stays, which is something we're trying to change.
So what makes John Wine Tasting Room so different?
And most other places, people feel threatened by the lack of knowledge. But when you're in a private tasting room like we design, and it's only the group and myself or one of my other colleagues that helps. Right now we handle everyone from 2 to 8 people, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes 10. And obviously our groups, when they call, depending on the size of the group, we have a menu that we offer them. There's 35 tastings that we have designed.
Cheers.
Every town or cul-de-sac has its secrets, its special hidden culture and codes. Luxury locations are no different. Vicki Herbert investigates and reveals the practices and stories of some of the best locations on earth. But some places are onto her, and she gets exiled. That doesn't stop her.